George, I seen the press conference with Michael Bisping. I enjoyed the hell out of that. First of all, him coming in late and either hungover or after an all-night bender drinking, and your banter back and forth. I think it's going to make the fight fun, to be honest with you. Did you enjoy that press conference, or does he get does he get under your skin at all? You handled it like a professional.
Well, I don't really look, Matt. I'm going to tell you the truth, man. English is not my first language. I speak much better English than before.
Yeah.
And also, it's not that it's not my first language. I'm just not good at trash talking. Some guys are just so good. Like Charles Sonnen is amazing. Conor McGregor is amazing. I pick my fight very carefully. I cannot get into a war of words. Even though I don't consider Bisping as a good trash talker, I think he's horrendous. I think he's terrible. He's not even good at trash talking. The only thing he's doing the best thing for me. The more he talks, the more he embarrasses himself. You know, so I don't really care. But some guys I like, for example, like Conor McGregor or Charles Sonnen, I would never be able to get into a war of words with them because they're just so good. But Michael Bisping, he think he's good, but he's terrible. You know, everything he says doesn't make sense. And the more he opens his mouth, the more he embarrasses himself. So for me, it's a good thing.
That's so good.
Well, that was a pretty good response.
That's so great. That's so great.
And George, you mentioned 3 weights. Now, obviously, middleweight, welterweight. What was the other way? Were you thinking of going lightweight or 155?
Yeah, I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it to lightweight. My coach Ferraz told me a long time ago. He said, "Why don't you fight lightweight? Why don't you fight lightweight? Why don't you fight lightweight?" He keeps bugging me, telling me that I should fight lightweight if I want to make a super fight. I said, I never tried it, but I'm pretty sure it would be easy to do because a lot of the lightweight guys are my size, you know, when they off season.
George, one of the things that stood out, and I think it's an unfair criticism of you, and Bisping said it the other day, some other guys said it, and they say, "Oh, George, you're a great athlete, but you're not a fighter. That's the difference. You're not a fighter." I think that's very unfair. Now, let me tell you something. I've seen fights. First of all, I mean, I could name your fight with BJ Penn where he got you bloodied up and you came back to win the next 2 rounds. Your fight with Carlos Condit when he kicked you in the head and you had to survive that and come back. Your fight versus wait, what's the other one I'm thinking of?
Matt Serra?
No, well, yeah, when you kicked my ass. No, it's not that.
Johnny Hendricks too. He punched me in the 5th round. I came back hard. You know, I've shown it through my career. The thing is, I believe that I show a lot of heart through a lot of my fight. A lot of the fight that I had, I dominate most of the round, all the rounds. But if you're winning a fight, it's up to the other guy to take a chance to open up, to make himself available for an open up to win the fight. No. If you're winning and everything goes well, it's the art of war, my friend. If everything goes well, you keep doing what you're doing. If you're winning that fight, in America, sometimes we don't understand that because in our culture, a lot of guys they go see a bloodbath or a slugfest. But if you go in Asia, they understand that very well. It's the principle of the art of war. You know what I mean? If I'm losing a fight, if the fight is tight, I need to open up. I'm gonna have to take risk, and I need to open up, and I'm aware of it. But a lot of the guys that I fought, I would say I beat them mentally before that I beat them physically in a fight. So they accept the defeated even before the end of the fight. So that's why the fight, I got a lot of criticism being boring because the guy they didn't open up to me, and I was just winning. If I'm winning a fight and everything goes well, it's up to my opponent if he's losing to open up and create opportunity. Me, if I'm winning, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm winning. You know what I mean? I'm doing very well. You know what I mean? That's the real strategy of fighting. You know what I mean? Yeah, well, and if you don't do it that way, most of guys that don't do it this way, they have a very short career and their health is not very good at the end of their career.
Well, I think that has to do with a lot of your success. I mean, again, I said it before with John Danaher saying, he says it, George is a master of the shoot box. That's what he says. I call it, when I used to spar, I used to call it feet the floor. But from closing, you have a very good, and I felt it firsthand, especially in our second fight, you have a very good sense of closing that distance, and your timing on your takedowns is just uncanny. It's just so on point. Like, for instance, when we were fighting our second fight, and you have a very good jab. You were jabbing me in my head. There's times in sparring when I let guys jab my head and I wait like it's bothering me, and then I get close and I fire off a right hand. When you're jabbing me in my head, I remember being like, all right, keep doing it. I'm going to get you. And then I threw the right hand and you shot exactly when I tried to hit you. And I was just like, ah, shit.
Well, Matt, the main reason is that happened is because you knocked me out in the first fight, so I knew your right hand was very dangerous, so I was aware of it.
Well, I'll tell you, George. I mean, people, they bring up the first fight a lot, but, hey, listen, as far as I'm concerned, we have a clean slate because you got me back in Canada, my friend, and you were on point in that second fight. And at my very best, I feel in that fight, I might have went the distance, but I feel like you were just so on point. You outfought me, and you were phenomenal in Canada, buddy.
But thank you. We both have our day. We both have our days.
We have. That's right. We have a clean slate now. We both had good days in there with each other.
Yes, exactly.
And have you seen Hendricks move up to 185? And what did you think of him against Hector Lombard? How good did he look at 185? He looked very comfortable.
I think he's comfortable, but I believe the best Johnny Hendricks that I've seen is gone. When he fought John Fitch, Martin Kaufman, Carlos Condit, when he fought me, I think this Johnny Hendricks is gone. I didn't feel the same pop, the same explosiveness, the same... maybe he's going to prove it wrong at 185, maybe, but I feel he's not the same anymore.
Yeah, it's funny because Johnny's been on this show before, and he's just another nice guy, and I remember talking to him, being like, and I asked him, I go, Johnny, and I brought up those fights. I talked about all the guys he stopped, besides you, of course. I brought up the guys that he stopped, and I go, Johnny, you just don't look like as ferocious as you once did. I go, what's the deal? And then that's when he got into the weight cutting and whatnot. But he did look, even though he wasn't that as ferocious as he's been when he fought you and those other fights, he did look the best he's been looking lately. You know what I mean?
He looked really good at 185, better than he has in the last 3 fights.
That's what I would say.
Yeah, it's true. I agree. I guess we'll see what's gonna happen next for him. If he bounces back like he was before, I believe he has the tools to go back to title contention for 185,
Did Michael Bisping winning the middleweight championship, because it's an amazing story of how he got the belt, and nobody saw this coming. Did that kind of inspire you to come back and say, I think, was he 37 when he won the belt? I mean, did that kind of make you think, hey, man, there is room for me to come back?
As much as an idiot when he's trying to trash talk me, he is, I admire him as an athlete. What he did, it was incredible, guys. He's 37, I believe. He took the fight on a short notice. Like some guy didn't want to take the fight. This guy got balls. I'm gonna tell you the truth. He did not rob the title. He won it and he deserved it. He's been very outspoken against performance-enhancing drug. Yep. He's one of the guy, I believe, from what I've heard, he didn't make a lot of money as much as he should have made, and as an inspiration, as an athlete he is, for me, I saw it a great opportunity to come back and fight him.
And you've been open in the past about ring rust and your thoughts. How do you feel after 3.5 years? How do you kind of combat that?
Well, it's not like I've been sitting on the couch for the last three and a half years. I enjoy my life. I did some other things. I love paleontology, dinosaurs. I had a chance to travel the world, go on site, things like that. But I always stay in shape, always train. You're never gonna see me, and you're never gonna find a period of my life since. I never been fat in my life. I never been out of shape. I'm always. You see my abs. Physically I look good. Even though I go on vacation, drinking and stuff, enjoying my life, I always keep myself in shape. There's a line that I never cross.
Me too, George. No, actually, no, I can't. What are you laughing at, George? I'm only kidding. That's great. Yo, George, you're a big movie buff. I saw Logan. I saw Logan over the weekend.
Last night.
How great was that?
Amazing.
Did you see Logan?
I did not. I plan on seeing it tonight.
Yo, do you really? Because you're a movie guy. You're into that stuff, no?
I love the Marvels too. You know, they're awesome.
Is that just because
my favorite was Doctor Strange so far. It was amazing.
Wait a second. What about Winter Soldier? You were in Winter Soldier. You fought Captain America.
Winter Soldier was good. Winter Soldier was all right, but I like Doctor Strange. To me, was the best Marvel movie they did. I mean, it was really good.